There's a sound that never dies, a rhythm that pounds through concrete, through time, through memory itself. In 1992, that sound came from a song called Typewriter. Not the gentle clicking of office keys, but something far more dangerous. A sonic weapon, a street anthem, a declaration of war wrapped in a rhythm. The man behind it wasn't just a dancehall artist. He wasn't just an actor. He was something rarer, something more dangerous to forget. He was the original Don Dada. His name was Louie Rankin, and this is the story of a voice that refused to stay silent. If you love uncovering hidden legends like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to Legends Underrated, and tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Leonard Ford was born in 1953 in St. Thomas Parish, Jamaica, a place where the humidity clings to your skin like memory, where the sound of reggae is as constant as breathing. But Leonard didn't grow up in the tourist postcards of Jamaica. He grew up in Rockfort and East Kingston, neighborhoods where survival meant learning the language of the streets before you learned to read. These were places where sound systems ruled the night, massive speaker towers stacked like temples to bass and treble, where crowds gathered under zinc roofs and open skies to hear who could claim supremacy with nothing but a microphone and raw talent. This was the crucible that forged Leonard Ford into something else entirely. The Kingston of the 70s was electric with possibility and danger. Reggae was evolving, splintering into new forms. Dancehall was rising, rawer and more aggressive than roots reggae, stripping away the Rastafarian spirituality for something more immediate, more street. Young Leonard absorbed it all. He watched the legends clash on sound systems, studying their rhythms, their cadences, the way they commanded attention with nothing but words and attitude. He had a voice, rough and gravelly even then, a voice that sounded like it had lived 3 lifetimes before he hit 20. And he had something else, an understanding of the streets that couldn't be taught. When he finally grabbed a microphone in those early battles, he wasn't trying to be anyone else. He was Leonard Ford, and Leonard Ford was enough. By the late 70s, he'd adopted the name Louie Rankin, a moniker that carried weight and swagger. But the real transformation came when he started calling himself the original Don Dada. In Jamaican patois, a Don is a leader, a figure of respect and fear. Dada adds an extra layer of dominance, a term of ultimate authority. Other artists would later claim the title. Supercat, one of dancehall's brightest stars, used it, but Rankin was there first. He wore it like armor, like destiny. By 1985, Rankin was getting serious radio airplay. His name was spreading beyond Kingston, reaching the Jamaican diaspora in New York, London, Toronto. He performed at dance halls and sound clashes throughout the 80s, building a reputation as an artist who never compromised. He delivered street reality with unflinching honesty. Rival MCs respected him, promoters feared him, audiences loved him. He dominated the 80s not through crossover appeal or commercial polish, but through sheer authenticity. The streets had plans for him, plans bigger than dancehall, bigger than Jamaica itself. 1992 arrived like a hurricane. Rankin signed with Mesa Records and released Typewriter, a single built on the Shank Ashek rhythm that would become his signature. The song opened with an intensity that grabbed you by the throat. Rankin's voice, that gravelly, menacing drawl, painted pictures of street life with brutal precision. The lyrics referenced violence, rivalry, and survival with the casual familiarity of someone who'd lived it. The gun we me had, man, it don't carry trigger. Yeah, press 2 button and a pure shot start fire. It wasn't metaphor, it was reportage. The track featured red-hot lover tone and became an instant classic. Radio stations across the Caribbean played it on repeat. Pirate tapes circulated through Brooklyn barbershops, and London council estates. The song climbed to number 25 on Billboard's Hot Rap Songs chart, proving that raw dancehall could compete in mainstream markets without softening its edges. The album Showdown followed, an 11-track declaration of dominance featuring songs like The Muscle, Monster Move, Poison, and Starrett City. Each track showcased Rankin's commanding vocal presence and his ability to blend street narratives with infectious rhythms. In 1993, he released Lethal Weapon, leaning into more explicit, party-oriented dancehall with tracks like Put On Your Negligee and Sex Me Down, 13 songs of unapologetic energy that captured the era's sensual and confrontational spirit. Rankin was everywhere. Sound systems, radio, mixtapes. The original Don Dada had transcended Jamaica. He was international, but music, as massive as it was only half the story. Hollywood was watching. In 1998, music video director Hype Williams was preparing his feature film debut. Belly would star Nas and DMX, two of hip-hop's biggest names, a crime drama about ambition, betrayal, and the cost of street life. Williams needed actors who could embody authenticity, who didn't need to act because they were already living the reality. When Louie Rankin walked into the audition, he didn't prepare monologues or study method acting. He walked in as himself, the original Don Dada, and that was enough. Williams cast him as Ox, also known as Lennox, a wealthy Jamaican drug lord living in a mansion, surrounded by luxury but still carrying the streets in his blood. The role was supporting maybe 10 minutes of screen time, but Rankin owned every single frame. There's a scene in Belly where Ox sits in his lavish home, gold chains gleaming, speaking in thick patois about respect and power. When he looks at Tommy, played by DMX, and delivers the now iconic line, "You want to rump with the bomber clap me?" the theater erupts. This wasn't acting. This was Louie Rankin channeling decades of street credibility into one unforgettable moment. Critics panned Belly for its weak plot and style over substance approach. The film barely made back its $3 million budget, but the streets saw something else. They saw themselves. Belly became a cult classic, endlessly quoted, endlessly rewatched, and Rankin's performance became legendary. Nas, his co-star, became a close friend. Years later, in 2016, they would reunite for DJ Khaled's music video, Nas' Album Done. Rankin reprising his Ox character to deliver a motivational speech that went viral. Belly opened doors, but the next film would make him immortal to a whole new generation. Stories like these are why I built Legends Underrated. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more untold legends. In 2002, director Cesc Silveira was cast in Shottas, a Jamaican crime film about two childhood friends who rise through Kingston's criminal underworld and eventually dominate Miami's drug trade. The film starred Kai Manny Marley, son of Bob Marley, and dancehall artist Spragga Benz. It was low budget, raw, unapologetically Jamaican. Silveira needed someone to play Teddy Bruck Shut, the ruthless Miami kingpin who the protagonist eventually clashed with. He needed menace. He needed authenticity. He needed Louie Rankin. Rankin accepted the role and delivered a performance that would define him for an entire generation. Teddy Bruck Shut wasn't just a character, he was a force of nature. There's a scene in Shottas that became legendary in Caribbean cinema. After learning he's been robbed, Teddy explodes in rage, delivering a monologue in rapid-fire patois that's equal parts terrifying and hypnotic. Rob my ting? Well, dem's you, rob Mr. Psycho who just got a whole lot of bullet and me never insure me gun to Geico. Tell dem dabble we day, bring back me ting, me no care if dem a top wharf or top grass, bring back me ting, or dim dead. The delivery was so natural, so explosive, that fans debated for years whether Rankin was following the script or improvising. The truth is, he was doing both. Silvera gave him the scene, but Rankin brought himself. His decades of street knowledge, his understanding of power dynamics and respect. Teddy Bruck Shut wasn't a role. It was Rankin channeling every Don he'd ever known. Shottas faced production problems from the start. Budget constraints, scheduling conflicts, and an unfinished bootleg that somehow escaped and circulated through Caribbean communities worldwide before the official release. That bootleg became legendary. For years, people watched grainy, incomplete versions of Shottas on copied DVDs sold out of barbershops and corner stores. The film finally got an official limited release in 2006 through Triumph Films and Destination Films. But by then, the bootleg had already cemented its cult status. And Rankin's performance as Teddy Bruck Shut had already made him a god to younger audiences who hadn't lived through the Typewriter era. For them, Louie Rankin wasn't the original Don Dada from dancehall. He was Teddy Bruck Shut, the man who taught them about power, respect, and what it meant to be a real Don. Rankin himself acknowledged this generational divide in a 2014 interview with Talawa magazine. My life was changed when I did Belly because it became one of the biggest ever blockbusters in gangster movie history. It was like a version of Scarface. The older folks know me as Louie Rankin, but the younger generation call me Teddy Bruck Shut. Both names, both legacies, one man. Success brought Rankin north to Canada. He relocated to Toronto, Ontario, eventually settling in the smaller town of Hanover. Toronto's Caribbean community embraced him as one of their own. He became a fixture at local events, performing at sound systems and staying connected to the culture that raised him. But more importantly, he became a family man. Rankin was married to Jules Sykes, who served as both his wife and executive assistant for over 30 years. Together they had 3 children. He had 4 more from other relationships, 7 children total who carried his name and his legacy. Those who knew him personally described a man far different from Ox or Teddy Bruck Shut. He was warm, generous, humble. He supported charities focused on sickle cell research and helped single mothers in Jamaica. He was a member of the Screen Actors Guild, a professional who took his craft seriously even as he maintained his street credibility. In 2019, Rankin was experiencing a creative renaissance. He'd been working on new music, posting videos on Instagram with the hashtags album done and return of the Don Dada, teasing fans about a comeback album that would remind the world why he was the original. He was also filming a movie in Toronto, energized and excited about returning to the screen. On September 28th, he posted on Instagram, "That album about to drop. Can you smell what the Ox is cooking?" The post radiated confidence, joy, anticipation. On September 29th, he shared a video from set showing himself surrounded by prop money. Caption reading, "The original Don Dada on set, shooting a major movie in Toronto. He looked healthy, happy, ready for the next chapter. He had no idea that chapter would never come. He had less than 24 hours left." September 30th, 2019, Monday morning, Highway 89 near Shelburne, Ontario. Louie Rankin was driving alone. His vehicle collided with a transport truck in the small town of Melanthon Township. The impact was catastrophic. Emergency services arrived, but there was nothing they could do. Rankin was pronounced dead at the scene. He was 66 years old. The transport truck driver suffered no physical injuries, but the man who had been the original Don Dada, who had been Ox and Teddy Bruck Shut, who had been Leonard Ford from St. Thomas Parish, was gone. The Ontario Provincial Police confirmed the death. Within hours, social media exploded. Jules Sykes posted a heartbreaking tribute on Instagram, a series of photos showing their life together, their love, their children. "There are no words," she wrote. Her grief raw and undeniable. "Sleep with the angels, my king." Rankin's verified Twitter account confirmed the news. It saddens us to have to announce that the original Don Dada trailblazer, the legend Louie Rankin, passed away this morning. May God keep his soul with his father, sister, and niece in heaven. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe. Nas, his friend and co-star from Belly, posted on Instagram, "Louie Rankin, great working with this man, a legend. In Belly, you stole the show." In DJ Khaled video, Nas album done, your presence was super live wire, much needed. Rip Don Dada. DJ Khaled, who'd worked with Rankin and Shottas and remained close for 20 years, shared photos and memories. "Bless up, my brother. Friends 20 years, friendship from Shottas and forever. Love and prayers for your family. Long live Louie Rankin." Louie, you are amazing father. The legend Louie Rankin. Dancehall stars mourned one of their own. Pop Can, who shared Rankin's St. Thomas Parish roots, wrote, "Legends don't die. It is very unfortunate what happened to you, fam, but God knows best. Rest up, Father Louie, your memories are forever." Movado posted a video of himself and Rankin together, smoking and philosophizing about fearlessness. Captioned simply, "Rip Dada Ja, no star." The Toronto Raptors community remembered how Rankin had rallied fans during their 2019 championship run. His infectious energy helping fuel the city's basketball fever. A GoFundMe page was launched by his family to help with funeral expenses and his children's education. The goal was $30,000. It was surpassed quickly. The outpouring of love, testament to how many lives he touched. From Kingston to Toronto, from Brooklyn to London, the world mourned the original Don Dada. Louie Rankin left behind more than music and movies. He left behind a phrase that hip-hop and dancehall still chase. Don Dada became part of the global lexicon, a title that carries weight, a crown that few can wear convincingly. Every time an artist calls himself a Don, whether they know it or not, they're echoing Rankin. Belly remains a cult classic nearly 3 decades later, introducing new generations to his stylized violence and iconic performances. Film students study Hype Williams' visual approach. Hip-hop heads quote Rankin scenes word for word. Shottas enjoys similar reverence in Caribbean communities. A gritty, authentic portrayal of Jamaican street life that never apologizes for what it is. Both films would be lesser without Rankin's presence. Both films became legendary because of him. Typewriter still bumps in sound systems from Kingston to Brooklyn, a reminder that authenticity never goes out of style. The song's raw energy, its unflinching street reportage, its commanding delivery, all of it remains timeless. New listeners discover it on streaming platforms and fall into the rabbit hole of Rankin's discography, finding Monster Move, The Muscle, the deep cuts that showcase an artist who never compromised. His 7 children carry his name and his values. His wife carries his memory. His friends carry his lessons. And somewhere on Highway 89 near Shelburne, Ontario, there's a stretch of road where the original Don Dada took his final ride. But voices like his don't die. They echo through culture, through cinema, through music. They inspire artists who never met him but feel his influence. Louie Rankin was never just a dance hall artist. He was never just an actor. He was a bridge between worlds, between Kingston and Hollywood, between roots and diaspora, between the streets and the screen. He proved authenticity couldn't be fake. That real recognizes real regardless of budget or production value. He showed that a man from Rockford could stand next to Nas and DMX and steal the show. Leonard Ford became Louie Rankin, became the original Don Dada, became Ox, became Teddy Bruck Shut, became immortal, the voice that refused to stay silent, the legend who lived twice, the original who can never be replaced. Because the original never fades, it just becomes forever. This twist shocked the world. And if you never want to miss stories like this, make sure you're subscribed to Legends Underrated. And don't forget to like the video if this story moved you.